Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. Today, big tech is pouring billions into massive AI data centers, while Warren Buffett hoards cash for a recession. And leaked texts show a surprising back-channel alliance between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I mean, while everyone on your timeline is just cheering this blinding speed of AI innovation today, we are looking at the massive hidden costs. Like, who is actually paying for this compute arms race?
Right.
And why are billion-dollar companies suddenly sending their premium subscribers, physical pens in the mail? Let's get into it.
We are jumping straight into the raw news wire for you today because the physical manifestation of the tech boom right now is it's absolutely staggering.
It really is.
We're looking at these massive capital and infrastructure expenditures that completely defy traditional market indicators. Like, for example, the Financial Times at FT, they just broke a story that Google is nearing a multi-billion-dollar financing deal for Anthropic's Texas data center.
Yeah, it's a massive move, but you have to look at the web of alliances here to really understand the mechanics of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
According to the context provided by Barely AI at Barely AI, Google already owns a 14% stake in Anthropic.
Right, they've been in there for a while.
Exactly. And meanwhile, Amazon holds around 20%. So these legacy tech giants aren't just betting on one horse here, they are systematically buying up the entire racetrack.
And the racetrack requires a ridiculous amount of raw electricity.
Oh, massive amounts.
Right, it's not just Google making these moves. Sam Altman, over at his handle Sama, he just posted this video showing actual steel beams going up at the Stargate AI supercomputing site in Michigan.
Yeah, the one they're building with Oracle.
Exactly. And we are talking about a 1 gigawatt facility here.
Let's actually pause and define what a 1 gigawatt facility means, because that number gets thrown around a lot on social media.
Sure.
1 gigawatt is roughly the amount of power needed to run an entire mid-sized American city.
Hello.
Yeah, they are basically building a digital city just to process the math required for the next generation of artificial intelligence.
It's wild. When I look at that footage of the steel beams, I really see the 1800s railroad boom.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, we aren't laying steel tracks. We're laying down gigawatts of compute to win the future. It's just a giant land grab. Whoever builds the fastest route from A to B controls the entire economy of tomorrow.
See, I am going to push back on that railroad analogy a bit because I think it misses a really crucial physical limitation.
Okay, how so?
Well, this isn't just like the 1800s railroad boom. With railroads, once the track was down, a train could run on it forever with just a bit of coal, right?
Right, the infrastructure was static.
Exactly. But AI compute is like a railroad where the tracks themselves consume massive amounts of electricity every single time a train passes over them.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. So that's why Altman isn't just looking for steel. He's out there hunting for dedicated power grids. And that brings up a glaring question about macroeconomic sustainability.
You think they are building faster than the economy can actually support?
I think we need to look away from the Silicon Valley timeline for a second and look at the broader market, because the consensus out there is flashing red.
Yeah, I saw this too.
Right. Trungfan at Trungcha pointed out that Warren Buffett is currently hoarding a record $373 billion in cash.
$373 billion. That's just
sitting there in short-term treasuries.
Oh.
But here is the critical second-order effect, right? What Buffett is not holding in cash, he is aggressively tying to energy infrastructure.
Wait, really?
Yeah, 25% of Berkshire Hathaway's market cap is now concentrated in Chevron and Occidental.
Because he sees a bottleneck coming.
Precisely. Buffett is historically contrarian, He is looking at the International Monetary Fund warning of a potential 2.5% global GDP drag caused by energy shocks.
All right, they've been warning about that for months.
And he's bracing for liquid natural gas shortages. Liquid natural gas, or LNG, is the actual physical fuel that powers the grid. He is betting that the massive power demands of AI, like that 1 gigawatt Stargate facility, are going to completely outstrip the grid's capacity.
So he's hedging.
He is playing deep defense, he's buying the underlying utility, while tech is playing unconstrained offense.
It's the ultimate standoff between digital optimism and physical reality. But I want to challenge the idea of an impending macroeconomic winter, at least within the tech sector itself.
Okay, what's the signal there?
Because the human capital data tells a completely different story. Lenny Rachitsky at Lenison dropped some numbers today that show tech hiring is actually flashing bright green.
Really?
Yeah. Open recruiter jobs surged 237% in March 2026. That is hitting nearly the peak levels we saw back in 2022.
Okay, but let's unpack the mechanics of that metric. Why do we care about recruiter jobs specifically?
Because recruiter hiring is the ultimate leading indicator of a massive headcount expansion. I mean, a tech company doesn't pay a recruiter's salary unless they have the immediate budget and mandate to hire like 10 or 20 engineers underneath them.
That makes sense.
It means the budget pipelines are actively opening up right now.
But notice the regional concentration in that exact same data set from Lenny.
The Bay Area numbers.
Yeah, the Bay Area's share of tech jobs is back over 20%. What this tells us is that the whole remote work dream of the early 2020s is just actively dying.
Yeah, they really want people back in the office.
They are pouring billions into these massive centralized physical hubs like the Stargate project, and they are demanding their talent consolidate around those specific hubs.
Which honestly makes perfect sense when you consider the sheer speed of what they were trying to build.
You think it requires physical presence?
Absolutely. You need the engineers in the room, huddled around the whiteboard. When you're trying to integrate highly experimental hardware with next-generation software, it's too complex for Zoom.
So we have this really interesting paradox. These companies are hoarding physical infrastructure, buying up the power grid, and forcing human engineers back to the Bay Area.
Right.
But when you look at what those human engineers are actually building, they are creating AI agents designed to completely eliminate human workers.
It is a bit ironic.
Very. Let's look at the software layer they are deploying.
Okay, let's get into it because the innovation sprint on the software side is blistering. We are moving so rapidly from basic chatbots to true agentic development.
And for the listener, we should probably define that.
Right. For you listening, agentic means the software doesn't just answer your questions anymore. It is given a goal, and then it takes independent actions across the internet to actually achieve it.
It acts on your behalf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at what the developer level ICO just did. He built a fully functional, monetizable, personalized bedtime story application in just 24 minutes.
24 minutes from a blank screen to a product that can actually process credit cards?
Yes.
How did he actually string that together so fast?
Well, he used an AI model called Claude to write the core logic and code.
Oh, okay.
Then he plugged in Grok 4.1 to generate the actual creative story text. He routed that text through Gemini's voice models for the text-to-speech audio narration.
And the payments.
He used Stripe's API to handle the user payments. He acted as a manager, not a coder. He just plugged the pieces together.
That's a fundamental shift in how we build things.
Totally. Or look at Tom Dewar. He shared an AI template today that reverse engineers any website into a pixel-perfect clone in 30 minutes.
And we really need to explain how disruptive that is to the industry.
Yeah, break it down for us.
Normally, copying a complex website means a human developer has to manually scrape the visual assets, inspect the code, and spend days writing blocks of HTML and CSS.
Right, which are the foundational languages of web design.
Exactly. Just to make it look right on different screen sizes, it takes days of tedious work.
Right, but Dewar's template bypasses all of that manual labor. It uses vision models to literally look at a screenshot of the target website like a human would.
It just looks at the picture.
Yeah, it maps the visual coordinates and then writes the code entirely from scratch to match the image. It turns a week of painstaking human labor into a 30-minute automated loop.
It entirely changes the economy of software development.
And this capability is being baked straight into the daily workflows of professionals right now.
It's not just a parlor trick anymore.
No, we saw the developer Shad Sutratan announce that their user interface generation tool now ships directly inside the official Codex plugin for building web apps.
Right.
And Pontus Abramson, at Pontus App, he just launched the Midday CLI. For the non-developers listening, a CLI is a command line interface. It's that raw, text-based terminal hackers use in movies to talk directly to the computer's operating system.
Right. It removes all the graphical buttons and menus so you can execute commands instantly.
Exactly. And the Midday CLI features over 80 specific commands for AI agents to run back-office finance tasks.
Wow.
Invoicing, expense reconciliation, data entry, all handled via simple text commands. Combine that with Notion at Notion HQ, launching a new iOS widget today.
What does the widget do?
It removes all friction from opening AI chat, camera, and voice inputs right from your phone's home screen. The AI has really transitioned from being a really fast calculator to being your entire back office staff and your development team.
Okay, that is the narrative, and I admit it sounds incredibly compelling.
What?
But I am going to pour some cold water on this agentic illusion.
I knew you would.
Look, if development is supposedly so fast and the tools are so fully automated, why are the developers on the ground so incredibly frustrated today?
You're seeing friction in the actual deployment.
Severe friction. The independent developer Noah at Noah King Jr. posted a meme today that perfectly captures the current mood.
Oh, I saw this one.
Yeah, it's a montage of action movie stars looking aggressively frustrated, just standing around waiting. The caption is about hitting Claude's usage limits at 5 p.m. and having to wait 2 full hours until 7 p.m. for the server reset.
The dreaded rate limits.
We have to look at the contextual data here. Surveys show that 88% of developers are using AI in their workflows right now.
Which is massive adoption.
It is, but only 18% are seeing significant speedups.
Wait, really? Only 18%?
Yes. Why? Because they are hitting a compute wall. You cannot replace your entire human back office if your new AI back office gets locked out of the building for 2 hours every afternoon because Google and Amazon's servers are overloaded.
And the compute is just too expensive to let one user run infinite queries all day.
Exactly. The electricity cost of inference, which is the process of the AI actually generating the answer for you, is massive. And when developers look for workarounds to avoid these rate limits, the trade-offs are super steep.
They start using cheaper models.
Right. The creator of Ruby on Rails, DHH, at DHH, posted about testing the Kimi K2.5 turbo model running on the Fireworks AI platform today.
He noted it was blazing fast, right? Something like 60 tokens a second.
Yes, and for context, a token is roughly 3/4 of a word. 60 tokens a second means the AI is spitting out full paragraphs much faster than a human can even read them.
That sounds incredible.
But DHH explicitly points out the mechanism of the trade-off here. To get that insane speed, the model is basically dumb and aggressive.
So it makes mistakes.
It hallucinates constantly. It makes wild leaps of logic. You trade deep reasoning and accuracy for rapid, cheap prototyping.
So as a developer today, you are caught in this trap. You either use the genius-level model that locks you out at 5 p.m. because it's too expensive to run, or you use the lightning-fast model that makes critical mistakes in your back-office code.
That is the grim reality on the ground right now, and the ultimate irony of this compute bottleneck is perfectly captured by a post today from Tibor Blaho at Politwar91.
The pens.
Yes, OpenAI is actively handing out limited edition physical pens to their $200 a month ChatGPT Pro users.
They are sending out physical stationery for a purely digital subscription. That is wild.
It's an absurd second-order effect of this industry. We are constantly hearing rumors about the imminent arrival of artificial general intelligence, right? AGI. Take the leaked Anthropic Claude Mythos document that Roundtable Space posted about today. The leak claims this new model has cyber capabilities that represent a huge step change, supposedly able to outpace human defenders in finding software vulnerabilities.
But you think that's just marketing hype?
I think we really have to question whether these leaks are genuine descriptions of AGI or if they are strategic distractions from the mundane reality of severe rate limits and a total lack of true software distribution.
That's a fair point.
I mean, when a cutting-edge AI company has to mail you a physical piece of metal and ink to justify charging you $200 a month, you really have to question the immediate scalable value of the software itself.
That is a brutal reality check, and it forces us to look at how this friction-filled technological whiplash is actually impacting everyday users and the broader culture.
Because the users are feeling it too.
Definitely. Behind the scenes, the people running these platforms are making some highly pragmatic, defensive moves to keep people engaged.
The landscape of who works with who is shifting dramatically.
It really is. Internal tech emails, at Tech Emails, just surfaced a fascinating back-channel exchange from February 2025.
Yeah, this was a wild read.
It's a text thread between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. And I want to be clear for you listening, we are just looking at the business mechanics here. Impartially, completely stripping away the politics.
Right, regardless of the politics surrounding the government efficiency push, if we look purely at the business pragmatism, it is wild.
It is. In the exchange, Zuckerberg offers Meta's internal moderation support to Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or the DOGE team.
Specifically to help them deal with doxing threats online, right?
Exactly. and then Musk counters by floating the idea of a collaborative bid on OpenAI's intellectual property.
It's just staggering. These are two billionaires who were publicly bantering about fighting in a physical cage match just a couple of years ago.
Right.
And now they are pivoting to back-channel collaborations regarding platform moderation and AI intellectual property. It shows a massive defensive pivot.
They know the ground is shifting under them.
The tech leaders are realizing they have to protect their platforms and appease their core users to survive this transition.
You see that exact retention strategy playing out in the product updates, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Nikita Beer, the head of product at X, at Nikita Beer, announced today that they are shipping 2 to 3 new features every single week.
But not for everyone.
Right, they aren't for the general public. They are hyper-targeting niche communities. They are building specific tools for digital artists, finance professionals, and what he calls situation monitors, which are basically people who track breaking news.
They are fragmenting the platform to give specific tribes exactly what they want.
Exactly, to boost retention.
But despite those efforts, there is still a massive psychological disconnect between what the tech leaders want to build and what the users actually care about.
Where do you see that?
Look back at the replies to Sam Altman's post about the Stargate data center.
Oh, the footage of the steel beams going up in Michigan.
Right. He posts this monumental achievement of physical infrastructure, a $1 billion grid expansion, and the users in his replies absolutely do not care about a 1 gigawatt data center.
No, they don't.
They are entirely ignoring the hardware. Instead, they are spamming his timeline with the hashtag #Keep40.
Right, they're protesting OpenAI retiring the GPT-4o model.
Exactly. GPT-4o was widely considered their most conversational, empathetic model. Users formed deep emotional attachments to that specific algorithm.
It felt like a friend to a lot of people.
Right. They don't want steel beams or faster compute. They want the AI that actually felt like it was listening to them. We are witnessing a psychological shift where users feel ownership over the vibe of a corporate algorithm.
Wow.
And when the company tries to enforce a mandatory upgrade to a smarter but colder model, the community revolts. They are rebelling against corporate control over their digital companions.
That emotional attachment to the digital world is fascinating, especially when you contrast it with how those exact same users are reacting to physical reality today. If you want the ultimate example of this cultural whiplash, look at what NASA posted today.
The Artemis second mission.
Yes, at NASA, they shared a trailer for their new documentary, Moonbound. And it is just a stark reminder that in late March 2026, which is literally days from now, the Artemis II mission is going to launch.
It's historic.
It is the first crewed deep space mission since 1972. 4 actual human beings are strapping into a rocket and heading into the void to orbit the moon.
And if you want the final synthesis of everything we've talked about in this deep dive today, it is sitting right there in the comment section of that NASA post.
It's grim.
We are sending human beings into deep space. It is a monumental physical achievement. Yet the replies are absolutely flooded with digital native skepticism and outright conspiracies.
People are asking why it's just an orbit. They're questioning the lighting of the documentary footage and doubting the reality of the event itself.
Because their baseline for reality is totally fractured right now. We are losing our capacity to trust physical reality because our digital reality is now so easily manipulated. Think about the mechanics we just discussed.
Cloning tools.
Right. When Tom Dewar can clone a functional website in 30 minutes using a vision model, and when Levelcio can spin up a monetized app in 24 minutes.
And when the empathetic algorithms that shape your worldview are constantly shifting without your permission.
Exactly. Of course, you look at a video of a rocket going to the moon and immediately assume this is a rendering.
It's just easier to disbelieve it.
The more synthetic our daily lives become, the less capacity we have to believe in monumental physical truths.
So if we pull all of these threads together, the gigawatt data centers, the rate limits locking developers out, and a culture that trusts an empathetic chatbot more than a physical space mission, where does this trend line actually go tomorrow?
Well, because of the massive infrastructure costs we analyzed, the billions pouring into Texas and Michigan just to secure the electricity, and the severe inference bottlenecks developers are currently hitting, I expect a rapid shift away from the promise of unlimited AI for everyone.
Yeah, that's over.
The era of cheap compute is closing. We are moving toward a landscape of hyper-premium, strictly metered AI access.
They have to pay for those gigawatts somehow.
The tech giants have to recoup these capital expenditures, and they will do it by squeezing the user. Expect that $200 tier to quickly become just the entry fee for reliable access.
If an AI can clone a complex app in 24 minutes, but the server locks you out at 5 p.m. because it's out of power, who really holds the leverage tomorrow?
Good question.
Is it the developer who knows how to write the code, or the utility company that owns the copper wire powering the server? It's something to mull over as you navigate this space on your own.
Yeah.
And think about this too, is physical authenticity, like a handwritten note, an in-person meeting, or a real-world space mission, going to become the ultimate luxury good?
It might be the only thing left that can't be generated in 24 minutes.
Stay sharp, question the consensus, and we'll catch you next time.